Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Good day to you. My name is Matthew, and this is Rachel.
Greetings.
Well, welcome to the podcast, everybody. This is the coolest stuff on the planet, and we're about to take you on a little ride here.
Today we are going back to Japan. I know we've been there a lot. As you can tell, we like Japan. But we have another cool thing that we just have to do. It's a centuries-old Japanese tradition called cherry blossom viewing.
Yes, called sakura in Japanese. Cherry blossoms are a celebrated symbol of Japan, kind of like Mount Fuji we talked about earlier. They've been a part of Japan's cultural and natural identity for centuries. Every year, the blossoms signal the coming of spring, and they basically burst into blossoms for a short period of time all over the country from about January to May. It's not that short of a period of time, but I guess they come in waves. Is that the idea?
Well, it goes all throughout the country.
Okay.
From they bloom like from south to north.
Awesome.
They have a really brief life cycle. This, in its very nature, in addition to the fact that they're beautiful, is highly symbolic to the Japanese. Kind of symbolizes the fleeting nature of life and beauty. And interesting fact that I found, apparently the samurai also really related to cherry blossoms. Like, I think they felt like their lives as warriors were very, like, transient and short.
Yeah,
you know,
quickly
like,
blooming and
yeah,
then
quickly
dying.
blooming and then fading out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
The earliest blossoms open in the southernmost islands of Okinawa in January and February, and the latest in Hokkaido, the northernmost island, in May. Interesting fact, Rachel, the type of cherry tree that flowers in Okinawa is very different from the ones on the other islands because their blossoms are bright pink. Like
super pink.
Yes,
Yeah.
ultra pink.
Well, because throughout in other places in Japan, you have kind of a range from white blossoms, which I didn't know, in fact, white blossoms to like light pink blossoms. So there's a range. But basically watching the blossoms bloom and then kind of go to their peak and then fade and fall is a national pastime in Japan.
Nice.
And so much so, Matt,
Yes?
that I thought this was really interesting. Japan's meteorological agency tries to forecast the blooming pattern of the blossoms as it moves from south to north across the country.
Yeah, it's called Sakura Zensen, or Cherry Blossom Front. And Japan's weather agency, they issue blossom forecasts to try and predict when the blossoms will open.
But interestingly enough, for 2010 and beyond, they've decided to discontinue that because apparently in the past, they've been wrong in their forecasts, and their newscaster had to apologize on air. They're still going to monitor them, but they're not going to try to predict when they will bloom anymore.
As we said, cherry blossom viewing season is a festive time in Japan, and across the country it's popular to have hanami festivals where people basically have picnics under the flowering trees day and night.
They drink sake, they eat kind of special party festival foods, they take all sorts of pictures of the flowers in all sorts of stages, close up, far away, and basically just enjoy the view of the cherry blossoms and all the, the different stages. And in addition to these flower parties, there are also lots and lots of cherry blossom festivals all across the country. Probably the most famous cherry blossom viewing spot is Yoshino Mountain in Nara Prefecture. And there are about 30,000 cherry trees, and they blossom all up the side of the mountain in waves, basically.
Awesome.
So unlike anywhere else in Japan, this is where you will see the blossoming season for the longest because they're just in waves.
I'd like to see a time lapse of that. See if it looks like a wave.
If it's like a wave,
That'd
be cool.
All right, guys. Well, I think that about wraps it up for the cherry blossom festivals in Tokyo in Japan. And I did want to mention, now look, probably 10 of you listening are going to get this reference. I spoke on the phone personally with a man named David Liebehart. You probably won't know him unless you watch the Tim and Eric Awesome Show, great job, or you live in LA and you get public access. But it was an amazing phone conversation. I learned about all kinds of new stuff, and I'm hopefully going to be able to talk to him soon in the future. But I just wanted to shout that out really quickly.
So shout out to that guy.
Thank you, David Liebehart.
And we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com and let us know what you think. Email travelpodcast@howstuffworks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free on iTunes.